So Spencer, Steelers coming off a bye. They're 3-1. Browns 1-4. When you look at this, keys to this one. The Steelers' offense hasn't been lights out. Their defense is +7. Giveaway, takeaway. +7.
Yeah, it's funny because I always feel like this is the case when the at least lately when the Browns and Steelers get together is like one team can't really get turnovers in the Browns, and the Steelers I feel like are always near the top of the league in turnovers. And it's like year to year those things can be so different, but it almost always feels like the Steelers are up there in that category or in that stat. Some of it's T.J. Watt. I was just doing we do like these crossover episodes on Locked On with the host from the other team that your team is playing, and so I was on with the Steelers host this week, and I was saying like every time the Browns and Steelers get together, I feel like T.J. Watt makes some remarkable play, either like intercepts the ball and takes it back for a touchdown, or like forces a fumble that flips the game, and then his offense can score a quick one. Like whatever it is, it just seems like he always makes plays in this matchup, especially when it's in Pittsburgh. And so I'm almost anticipating something like that to happen. But, and especially with how this offensive line has been, I think they played better last week. Getting Jack Conklin back was huge. Keeping Dylan Gabriel upright and protected and comfortable is going to be a massive key in this game for a team that has some ball hawks on it, that can make plays, that can, force you into mistakes. They blitz a lot, this Steelers defense does. And so it's another big test for Gabriel, I think, to be able to play a clean football game. And if they do that, I think they certainly have a chance to win it, because we know if they play a clean football game, the Browns defense is going to make it an interesting one. But you almost anticipate that the Steelers are going to get at least one in some capacity during that game on Sunday. And those turnovers have been detrimental to the Browns so far this season. So you hope to avoid it. But it's crazy how good they always seem to be at forcing teams into mistakes and then maximizing those mistakes and turn them into points.
Who are some guys that need to step up if the Browns are going to find a way to get a win in Pittsburgh? It's always they never play well. I know they won the playoff game, but they never play well in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we all know the stat. Haven't won there in the regular season since 2003, so it's been a while. There's a number of places I think I could go with this, but I think the number one person is Jerry Jeudy. The disappointment from the continued drops by him continues to be a thing. I think he knows that. We talked to him this week. He's been pretty candid, I think, after games that he knows he has to catch these passes, and it's just a frustrating sort of situation right now. So. I think he's aware that it's holding the team back a little bit, but he needs to make more plays. If they're going to push the ball downfield, it kind of has to start with him. So I think that's probably number one on my list for sure. And then I guess that left tackle spot, which it sounds like could be Cam Robinson this week. Tommy Rees talked about him having a weird week to sort of join the team with them going to London, so they just tried to kind of get his feet wet. But it sounds like this week they're sort of preparing him better situationally to be out there in a more of a steady capacity. And if that happens, like maybe that shores up the offensive line a little bit better. But that group's had some questions for sure. But I think it certainly starts with Jerry Jeudy. It starts at the left tackle spot. In general, the offensive line just playing better to help this offense move up and down the field. I think the defense, it'd be hard for me to point the finger on that side of the ball and say, this guy or that guy has to step up. Although, Myles Garrett getting a sack would be nice, or that defensive line getting a couple sacks, because last week, for whatever reason, the Vikings were kind of able to keep Carson Wentz clean. I think it's going to be up to that group to cause some problems in their own right for the Steelers offense and Aaron Rodgers, and maybe get him rattled and making some mistakes, and then maybe that turns the game on its head as well. But I think for sure, if you're asking me like who needs to step up, I think it starts with Jerry Jeudy.
I agree with you. I think if Jeudy can get some downfield receptions, I think that opens up a whole lot more for Dylan Gabriel in the offense. I agree.